Determination, teamwork, tenacity and endurance. These are just some of the important life lessons that children learn through sport. And as long as children are involved in sports, they're in a world where they will try to be the best version of themselves. And the enhancement of physical and mental development is without a doubt the most important contribution of sport for kids. They don't have to be talented, just involved. And joining us this morning as we discuss more about the development of grit, yes, we learn through sport. We welcome back owner and head coach at Fitbox Durban, Garth High, and one of his best coaches, Sir Lance. We've knighted him because he's that good. Gents, welcome back. Great to be connecting with you. I think you know that you're kind of preaching to the choir here. You guys have chosen to live your life in this space. Yeah. And you've developed a successful business through this as a sportsman, not as just an entrepreneur. So this tells me that you've learned some lessons through sport. For you, what have been some of those big lessons learned?
Sport has been the main like foundation for anything that I've done. It's always kind of related back to sport. If you go back to school, I always think of sport. If you go back to just after school studying, it's rugby. And what I did, I played rugby to get my bursary, you know. Yeah. So it's to use sport to try and get further in life. And then I went from engineering into sport again. So like it's always kind of drawn me back, and now I'm helping kids, you know, and coaching kids and coaching adults as well. But it's always just pushed me. Doing sport or grinding hard or doing a little bit of grit is always giving me that direction into working harder for something that I need. And it's always come back to sport, you know. Trust
me, as an entrepreneur, you need it. You get kicked in the teeth 5 times a day and you've got to get back up and you've got to do it again. You're one of the happiest individuals I think we've ever had at this table. So clearly the endorphins, that's one nice side effect from doing all of this sport. But you've again chosen to make this your kind of vocation. For now, this is kind of your calling. What is it about sport that's enhanced your life?
The resilience during, you know, workouts, the wins and losses during games. Looking at, I mean, we used to have this thing where you sit and they talk about your performance, you know, that lets you be a little bit more selfless about yourself, understand a little bit more about yourself, you know, and that's how you gain more confidence. I've worked hard in a certain field, so when I'm working, talking to kids, it's something you can easily bring out because you've lived it.
Yeah, and they can see it, and that it's authentic. And I think kids are the ultimate lie detectors. You can talk a good talk, but they'll see through it. They need to feel it, and they need to see you actually living that. We can joke about screen time and about the kind of digital age that we're in, and take nothing away from the benefits of those platforms. They have a place. But there is this thing called nature deficit disorder that's developed because kids these days just don't get outdoors. They don't get stuck in. Physically, their development is behind. It almost feels like, for me, it's more important now than it ever has been. You've now, again, chosen to make this your key focus, working with young people. Why is it so important now?
Yeah, we see it day in and day out, and it's because the parents, or we are busy. So there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of things keeping us busy. As a parent myself, I'm always going home trying to then, you know, put technology down, make sure my phone doesn't bug me or whatever it is at those time slots, because I need to try and give that attention to my kids. And I think we might also be putting like a little like piece of cotton wool around them as well. We need to take that cotton wool off, let them get a little bit harder, you know, let them suffer a little bit. Obviously, it's your kid, you don't want to let them suffer, but you want to let them just try again. And with them seeing you do some kind of sport or some kind of grinding activity, they're going to see, okay, but mom and dad's doing it, you know, and they're going to try and then follow that. So there's that fine balance, like don't lose out on that technology because it's going to be vital.
Yeah, it's part of
But stepping back into nature, like you said, and then just taking your socks and shoes off, go walk on grass or go play outside, you know, do that little activity, even if it's 10, 15 minutes a day. And you as a parent, I think, also take that opportunity for yourself as well. Get some sunlight, get some vitamin D, and go help your kid do that, you know.
And I suppose the nice thing about sports is you can put them at risk without there being too much risk. So they can fail in a safe space. They can face these challenges and develop grit. What does it mean in your experience?
Grit is understanding what hard work is, and that's through resilience, teamwork, support. You know, as you're entering these tough situations, you've got people with you that are encouraging you. You know, you're never alone in a team sports space when you're doing these events, these workouts or these games with your teammates.
You're talking about these things that are going to, stand them in good stead in the future, but you've got to do it right now in the moment. And that's where I think becomes tricky for me to understand, is how do you get them to understand what grit is and how to overcome that? How do you approach it in your space when you're motivating the little ones?
I try to just get them to feel a little bit comfortable in a tough scenario. So we kind of put a workout in front of them. We make it tough, but still doable. And then we let them go through the motions, and then we maybe repeat it. And we say, guys, listen, you didn't do that too well. You know, this is what you need to do better. So coaching elements are always key. So Lance always does this very well. He has the kids run through a workout. They build a little hula hoop tower at the end. And you see the kids kind of struggling, and then we let them struggle, and then we'll actually start them again. We'll say, guys, let's try again. We'll give them a little bit more advice of building this hula hoop puzzle after a workout when they're tired, and then get them. So that's the nice thing about sport as well. You're doing something when you're tired, and you're trying to do it then better, and you're trying to do it then better.
Because that's life.
Yeah. And as you mentioned, it's the tiny little feedback cues you put in whilst they are suffering or struggling, you know, like don't stop, don't give up, communicate, work together. And ultimately, like, the smile at the end, they understand why we put them into that space. So it's always good to see. Yeah.
For two gents who are clearly converts, and what has sport given you outside of grit?
I think it's given me just the space to think to myself, I can actually now do this. And so in the kind of business world, if you call it, or with some of the guys that I work with or my colleagues, it's to kind of reassure them that you can do it. Yeah. Now, in a business life or in our work environment, I can actually lean on Lance, like, hey man, you need to help me out with this. And he can come to me with any issues, knowing that we've kind of done similar things together, you know.
It gives your street cred. And you, why are you so happy, man? How come you are so happy, Sir Lance?
I'm so happy because I've literally gone through some tough moments in life, and every single tough moment taught me that I can have a choice to decide to who I want to be, you know? And that choice, that decision, like you're saying, it allows me to know for a fact, whatever situation I get into, I'm able to communicate about it. Every single time, there's always going to be victory, so long you push through.
Pick yourself back up
There you
again.
go. Need this Milo.
Who can do the most push-ups between the two?
So he's... I'm just going to say it out. He's beat him in a couple of workouts.
I would say I beat him because of the shorter arms.
Yeah,
that's the only reason why. Not because of fitness. Yeah, it's just shortness. Yeah.
It's called dad muscle, man.
That's literally
dad density. You'll get there, man. You'll get there, buddy. I love both of you guys for what you do every day. Thank you so much for stepping onto this platform and sharing some of that love. We need more of this. The grit you learn in sport, you keep for life.